So welcome to the library. It's great to see this Coolidge Auditorium full of kids from middle and high school. So give us a cheer for being here. You're amazing. My name is Sasha Dowdy. I work in the library's Literary Initiatives team, and that's a place in the library that creates book programs such as this one. And we work with lots of people from across the library to create these. Yeah. In case you don't know, the library is the nation's library, so it's for everyone, all of you here. It holds millions of items in the collections. You might already know about our historic flute collection. You don't know what I'm talking about? With Lizzo playing some of our, yeah, that was from our collections, which was very special. And of course, we have books, comics, maps, movies, music, basically any format you can think of that you can use to record knowledge, creativity, and memories. And it might seem sometimes like the library just holds historic items, but these programs is what we use to make sure that you see that your stories matter too. It's not just stuff that happened a long time ago. It's from all over the country. We're collecting as we speak, and I hope you know that your voices, your ideas, what you bring to the library matters. I hope you enjoy this program today, but let me tell you a little bit about the authors you're going to see. The authors of Whiteout, which is a collection of story, well, one big story, like a puzzle piece that comes together with Black teens exploring love in a snowy Atlanta. Dhonielle Clayton is the first author, and instead of reading their full bios, I'll tell you how you might know them. She is the author of the Belle series, The Marvelers, and co-author of The Rumor Game. Tiffany D. Jackson is best-selling author of Grown, allegedly, Monday's Not Coming, and Let Me Hear a Rhyme, White Smoke, wonderful titles. Angie Thomas is here too. You might know her from her title, The Hate You Give, which was also made into a movie. She also wrote On the Come Up and Concrete Rose. Ashley Woodfolk is the author of The Beauty That Remains and When You Were Everything, the Fly Girls series, and Nothing Burns as Bright as You. Nicola Yoon is our sixth author today, and she is the author of Everything, Everything, and The Sun is Also a Star, both of which have been also made into movies. These six authors are in conversation today with a very special moderator. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Carla Hayden, the 14th Librarian of Congress. She's both the first African American and the first woman to hold this post. And yes, that is worthy of a cheer. She was appointed to this post in 2016, and she's the first professional librarian to hold this post since the 70s. At this year's National Book Festival, Dr. Hayden had a great conversation with 5 out of these 6 authors with Blackout, the book that came before Whiteout. You can find that video on the library's YouTube and website, loc.gov. And this video today that we make by recording what you see on stage is also going to be available in the same places, library's website and YouTube, so I hope you check it out. Final note before we start, the last 15-20 minutes are for you. That's for Q&A, so hold your questions in your head and be ready. So let's get to it. Please help me welcome Dhonielle Clayton. Tiffany D. Jackson. Nick Stone. Angie Thomas. Ashley Woodfolk. Nicola Yoon. In conversation with the Librarian of Congress, Dr. Carla Hayden.
The lucky librarian, because I begged to be the one to be with these wonderful authors. So thank all of you. Well, all 6
Yeah.
When we were together at the National Book Festival, and I went ahead and just say before we even start, thank you to HarperCollins, the publisher, because, this is my Oprah moment, you'll each get a book. All right? So
You get a book, and you get
we're
a book.
not just going to talk about it and everything and then say, oh, go check it out at the library, which you could for your friends, but you're going to get it. But I got to meet the authors at the National Book Festival when they were talking about Blackout, the first book. And I had an advanced reading copy of Whiteout that was coming. So it's a joy to be here because we've got some secrets to explore and things. But before we do that even, I'd like to just call out and have you give a shout out so that we can see who you are. The schools that are here, like Hart Middle School. All right. All right. Ida B. Wells Middle School. Okay, Hart, you might have to come back and be a little louder too. Columbia Heights Education Campus. All right. School Without Walls. Come on, come on. Okay. McFarland Middle School. Dunbar High School. Well, you know Dunbar, every city. That was our rival in Chicago. Eastern High School.
Okay. Okay. Good morning.
Ron Brown Academy. And the Elliott Hine Middle School. Well, thank you all. All right, let's just jump right into it. Right into it. And thank you, HarperCollins. So, 6 authors. This is not the first book because you did Blackout, but how did you come up with the idea of working together, all 6? Because that's something.
We are going to blame
Danielle
Danielle
Clayton.
Clayton. Come on.
Okay, I apologize. My voice is a little raspy this morning. Yeah, so I collected all of these wonderful ladies with my leadership skills. I just said, you know, we need to write a book together. I have a 16-year-old niece, and she asked me a really tough question about why Black girls weren't the center of love stories in TV and film and in books. They're always the sidekicks, right? And I thought, this is a real problem. And so I called some of my favorite people and my close friends, and I said, well, we're going to do something together. We're going to write a book together that features all these Black kids falling in love. And we did it once with Blackout, New York City. Lights go out, 13 kids stuck with someone they like or they hate. And then we have 2 Christmas queens who also use their leadership skills.
That's how that came up.
Yes, to bully us into Whiteout, which is Black kids falling in love in the snow. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yesterday, Oprah's best friend told Danielle she had executive leadership skills,
Yeah.
and now
You can't tell me nothing.
you can't tell her.
That's all she's going to
Ms.
talk
Gail
about.
King said I had executive leadership skills.
Well, you go for it.
Yes.
So, you did it with Blackout, so
Yes.
that must have been a good experience because then you kept on.
Yep.
And how did it get better? Because at first you said it was during the pandemic.
Yep.
And it was all Zoom and everything like that. So did you get a chance to work differently with the Whiteout?
I mean, I think we did work differently, but not in the way that you might think because, oh, like there's a little bit more flexibility as far as like the pandemic goes or whatever. We were still in our houses by ourselves. But I think the difference was because we had done it so separately the first time, we wanted to make sure that this book was more cohesive overall. So we talked about, so this book is different from Blackout in that we each wrote a POV. So like we each wrote a point of view, a specific character, as opposed to last time we each sort of wrote these stories that we wove together. This one was like, okay, we're all characters in the same story. So yeah, and everybody's having their own little love story on the side while they're
Want to pitch
helping.
the story? pitch the
Yeah,
larger
While
story.
they're helping the common goal, you do it.
Okay, so it's about a girl who messed up her relationship, and she's
bad.
trying to fix it, right? Second chance. She has to grovel. Like, she really messed up. What she did was, like, real bad. And she calls in all her friends get together, and they're dealing with their own, like, love stories. Like, they're with someone they like or someone they hate, right? Or someone they might have feelings for. And they're all going to help this main character, Stevie, pull off, like, the most epic apology of her life so she can get her partner back, her girl back. So it's a lot of drama.
A lot of.
But you
drama.
won't know who wrote which point of view. So it feels like a puzzle, the way that Stevie's friends are putting together this big surprise and helping Stevie. You won't know which
Who wrote
point of
what.
view everyone wrote. So it's part of a game to figure it out.
Because in Blackout, you actually listed who was writing
Yeah.
which chapter. This one, you didn't know. You were into it. And I have to tell you, I had a little moment after, was so excited about Blackout, got into the characters, and I was sad that I couldn't follow them up. But it's about 2 pages in, I was into this. So how do you get these characters? Where do you get the characters from in the situations?
Writing is the only job where it's okay to have people who don't exist talking in your head all the time. We have a lot of imaginary friends, and because we're able to put them on paper, people think it's fine. But the way we wrote these books is very deliberate, right? Like, you don't have to read Blackout in order to read and enjoy Whiteout. Part of the reason for that is because we wanted to take the opportunity to tell as many different stories of Black teen love as possible. And then the other reason has to do with film and TV stuff. But that's the thing, right? So the very exciting news is that Blackout was optioned for both film and TV. So Netflix, yes. Netflix is gonna do a movie and a television show, which means that, like, if you read Blackout and you want to continue with those characters, you'll get to, just in a different format. And then, of course, the coolest part is that it's being produced by the Obamas.
Okay, stop. How did that happen?
Danielle, you tell this story the best because
it's so good.
we all were not okay.
So we have an
Well,
amazing.
But wait, before you tell that story, tell how we actually ended up with the Obamas, because that's kind of fun too.
Right.
Like that we were on like Zoom calls with.
Right, we were on Zoom calls with everyone, like Miss Viola Davis, like everybody. I had like 37 film calls about Blackout. It was exhausting, but it was great. And then at the end, we were still trying to decide which producers we felt would best translate this big love story to the screen. And then our wonderful film agent called me on a Friday night at like 8 p.m. and she said, "Sit down." And I said, "Uh-oh, what's the problem?" And then she said, "Lay down." I said, "Okay." I'm laying down.
It's really bad.
She said, "The Obamas are going to be your producers." And I was like, "Oh no, oh my God." And I blacked out. And then she said, "Now you have to call everyone because it's 8 p.m. and I'm off the clock."
And she said, "Bye."
Bye, click, right? So then I call Nicola Yoon, and she says, she gets, what? Wait. I texted everyone, I said, lay down, like sit down, lay down, and report back once you've done that, right? And then I called each one of them. Nikki was like, "Oh, wait, don't play with my heart. Don't play with my heart. I'm too tender for this."
I love the way you make my voice sound so
Yes.
smoky.
Because you got really quiet. You were like, "Danielle, what's going on?" You were like, "What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" And then you got really silent. And so you were like, "No, no, no, don't play with me." And so Ashley didn't pick up the phone. I'm going to tell your parents. I see your parents are right there. She did not pick up the phone. I called her about 6, 7 times. She clicked me to voicemail. She didn't pick up the phone. Angie was driving, and I told her to pull over. And I told her she was screaming. I could hear the honking and everything, screaming on the phone. Her mom was screaming, she was screaming, all of that. And then we were crying. Nick, I can't repeat the things that she said because it was she cussed me out. She cussed me out. And Tiffany was like, "Yo, what?" She was like, I can't tell my mom. All of Jamaica will know. Your mom is the only one that didn't know until the day before we announced. How you gonna do Miss Linda like that?
Because it was a secret.
Mamas can keep
She
secrets.
doesn't know how to
There is
handle
Miss
not-
Woodfolk kept that secret.
There
Miss
is not
Woodfolk
there is
kept that
not one
secret.
mama out there who's keeping secrets. You know, come on now.
Miss Julia kept that secret. My mama kept the secret.
She did not. My mom did not keep it a
I was
secret.
like,
She
come on
was just
now.
selective of who she told.
Look, but it was great because everyone had such different reactions, and it was hilarious based on their personalities. And then finally, Ashley decided she was going to call me back, right? And then she was like, "Oh my god, oh my god." That's what she does, and she gets really, she's like, "Oh my god," and then she hung up on me.
So she could tell somebody.
Yeah, so she could call her mom.
my mama. That's the only person I told.
Yes, so she could call her mom.
Well, see, what
was
you
great.
just heard and saw was what you feel in this book. The friendships and how friends come together, and friends can have different personalities. And I remember you're the love bug.
Right. I'm the cheesiest one of the group, I think. And I like kissing, so I'm the kissing guru of the group.
Yeah, there was a lot of kissing.
Yes.
Thanks to
I mean,
Nicola.
more
There was a lot of
kissing.
kissing.
Yeah, more kissing in the
And
world.
Nikki gave us a
slow
mandate. She
kissing.
said we need more kissing in this book.
Yeah, there was a lot of
That's
kissing. There was a lot of language, and I did check. I did check with our audience before I came out to see how if they could handle it, because I learned a few things about language. So, from the first book, so when I got to the part that said WHF, I knew what it meant.
WTF.
Oh, well, see. But I got the point.
Yes, you
I
did.
got the point.
Dr.
And
Hayes,
so, how did you? I got the point because
Learning so many acronyms.
I'm learning. But that's the thing. The voices are so authentic to young people. So, do you check with the young people in your lives, or how do you get it so that you know the fashion, you know everything?
Oh yeah, and we listen and we respect them. We respect how they talk. We respect what they like, what they listen to. We listen to the same music, like especially us two. Like, you know, Lil Baby, all that. That's us. I don't know about the rest
Ellie
of
Chopper, like, let's go.
yeah, like that's me and Nick. Like, so we are on it, and so sometimes we have to put them on game. But you know, but no, it's really just about listening, and I hate that so often people make y'all feel as if you speak a certain way, it makes you less intelligent, and that's not true. That just means that's your way of communicating, and it's on them to figure out how you're talking. You know, so. But also, there's this thin line you have to walk because none of us are teenagers, but we never want to make it feel like we're like, you know, yo, what's up? We're cool like y'all. No.
Hey,
But, no, hey,
you
girl,
kids.
no, hey, no. But still, there are ways to sprinkle it in there so it still sounds authentic, but it doesn't sound over the top. Because, like, I'm not going to lie. I've read some books that were so over
They're
the
doing too
top.
much.
And I'm like, you're doing too much, boo. Fall back, like that's.
But I think also, like, we spend a lot of time with kids. Like, we're doing school visits, and we're talking to, like you said, like the kids in our lives and stuff like that. But I think we're also trying to figure out what they're into, and then sort of taking that into consideration while we're writing. So we're always curious. Like, we were just talking about behind stage. There's this thing. I mean, the kids know, but the adults don't know. There's a thing where
Wait, we can't tell the adults.
we can't tell.
No,
we can't
don't
tell. Okay,
Please
sorry.
tell
I didn't know the
everyone.
rules.
What
We
is-
gonna keep y'all.
I'll say this: we're always learning like new things about what is happening because we're around kids, and so I think that is we're always trying to keep up. We're trying to keep up, and we're a little bit closer, so we can almost keep up. So I think
It's
that's part of it.
almost.
I mean, and also it's not so much about, like slang or anything. The thing about kids is that they're always asking questions, right? And in a way that adults sometimes don't ask questions about the world. So if you just tap into that part of trying to figure out what the world, like who you are in the world, who you want to be, like how to be a good citizen, like what your identity is, what your sexual identity, kids are questioning all the time. And I think we are naturally questioning people, and we want to be in conversation with the kids and just show them the world. And the thing about kids is that they go through hard stuff just like we do, but they're going through it for the first time, right? So you want to be in conversation and be respectful and just talk about the world as it is.
that's one of the points that really came out. The way you weave real life so naturally, like going to therapy, taking meds, having a diverse family, but also having a difficult relationship with a mom that wasn't there, and all these things you just weed right on in, and you did it. Now, identity and gender, that's a big part of it. Okay, well, talk about it now.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
that's
know,
a big part.
we really want to make sure we are reflecting the world not only as we would like it to be, but like as we see it, you know? I think literature has the power to shift the way that we view not only the world, but ourselves. And so normalizing things like questioning your gender identity, it's important to us. There's a character who is trying to figure things out. And I think that it's showing characters who don't come to answers is also really important when we're working on books like this. Like, you have all of these kids dealing with all of these things. Like, there's a character in the book who, like, we mentioned the one that's having some gender identity questions. There's also a character in the book who's like, well, I know I like this person and they're different genders, but I don't know how I feel about liking this person of this gender when I said I only liked, you know what I mean? Like, there's all of this, these questions, like Nikki said. And I think our goal is just greater empathy and compassion. We want people to recognize themselves in characters who might be a little different from them. And then once you see that we're all connected, it's kind of hard to hate people.
You had some cool nerds. I know this is Miss Nonfiction. Very cool nerds.
There what like that's what I actually love about the way that we write, because we're all so vastly different, and so we bring a lot of diverse characters to the page and sort of being able to like talk about like different things. Like there's like characters that, which I don't know if we mentioned this. So since we wrote all of this together, we didn't actually note who wrote what. So it's sort of a surprise, but obviously I know. So there's like characters that Dee wrote that I was like in love with, just because like I love the way like Dee thinks about things too. So it's just like there's a lot of characters that I just like I adore just simply because of the people who wrote them. And that's why it's actually kind of a fun little surprise when you guys read it, because you won't, I mean, how many of you read books that's not white out, like any of our books? So you kind of know our writing style just based off of like previous books that we've written. Oh, well, that would help. Yes, I guess
I can run it down. Tiffany D. Jackson has written Grown, Monday's Not Coming, Allegedly, Weight of Blood, Let Me Hear a Rhyme. Brace yourself for her work.
I mean, you
her
also
collected
could have
works.
started with your own.
I
You can
will
start with your own.
Somebody else can do me. Nick
Oh, well-
Stone does Dear Martin, Dear Justice. She did the Shuri books. She did Odd One Out. I know y'all's collected works, okay? Chaos Theory is coming. Angie Thomas did The Hate You Give, On the Come Up. Yes. She has her middle grade debut coming out next year. Ashley Woodfolk has done many books that are very emotional and very good. Nothing Burns as Bright as You. You've got your Opening My Eyes Underwater. You've got When You Were Everything. So many books. Nicola Yoon, Everything, Dancing, Instructions for Dancing, and The Sun is Also a Star.
And you?
And Danielle.
And I've done, oh God, what have I written? I did a series called Tiny Pretty Things, which is a Netflix show. I did the Belle series. I did The Marvelers. I wrote a book called The Rumor Game, which is set in DC. Those are all my books. I've forgotten even how to spell my name today. So I thought I got most of everyone's books. Yeah. Okay.
So a lot.
Yeah.
So I got to ask this. Did you have any disagreements now? Everybody's all lovey-dovey now and talking about how you wrote, but were
No.
there any disagreements?
It's really
This is hard
easy.
work.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
so
people
easy.
never believe us when we say it's a very smooth process.
The
Like,
yeah. only time we did have a disagreement was with Blackout with Tiffany, because if you read Tiffany's books, you know
Yes.
what kind of books Tiffany does, and she was like, "Is there going to be a murder?" Can we put a rat?
dying?
She was like, "Can we at least put a rat in the book?"
Right.
It's
I was
like,
surprised she
no.
didn't ask for a dead body in the snow.
Yeah.
But she was in her Christmas bag, so she didn't want to add
Yeah.
a
So
dead
that
body in the
helps.
snow in whiteout.
That was
so.
like the only
Literally.
disagreement.
Yeah,
No
and
one,
I mean,
no one
the-
dies, you guys. No one dies.
the way that we plotted it out, I think we left space, I think, for everybody's like taste and everybody's opinions to be incorporated, because we weren't so much in each other's the separate chapters that we wrote. We weren't in there unless we were invited, right? So like if we were like, okay, we need more kissing over here,
Nicola Yoon.
Nikki, go take a look. Nick combed through the whole thing because she's our Atlanta native, and this is set in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
So, she had her fingers in there. And then if somebody was like, oh, I feel like this scene is a little flat, it needs more emotion, then I would jump in. Angie's great at humor, Nick's great at dialogue. So we sort of have these sort of places that we know we can go to sort of tighten things up. I think that also gives the book a unified voice, even though everybody is writing separately. But yeah.
You mentioned Atlanta, but you also had in the book that one of the goals of some of the characters was to get to Howard University.
Absolutely.
That played prominently in here. And even
Got our bison
Uh-oh.
right here.
That's
I
all.
mean,
Our bison babe right here.
I mean, I had to big up my school, but
But that came out too, that you.
I feel like, well, one of the things that we always do is we try to have kids in our books aspire. So we want them to talk about like going different places, traveling, going to college or not going to college, choosing to follow arts or music. I think that's important to know that, considering that kid, the same way that we talk about how like black people aren't like a monolith, that we're not all the same, the same way we feel about kids not all being the same. Every kid I've spoken to has a different dream. Even if everyone wants to be a rapper, they want to be a different type of rapper. So I think, no, seriously, like I have not met the same rapper once. So, yeah, I'm actually thinking about that now. Yeah,
Yeah, even Lil Baby and Dub Baby different.
yeah, they're totally different.
But you got a little baby, somebody.
But I do feel like they should have had like a meeting
you had
about
little
names.
some.
And
little-
Yeah, there was a rapper in the book.
They had a rapper in the
Oh,
book,
yeah, there's a rapper in the book. His name's Lil Kinsey.
Little Kenzie.
Lil.
Little, but you got to show what Little Kenzie was before, and that was a good thing. And then all the different cultures.
Yeah,
You had speak about that because you had everything, every culture.
I mean, even us sitting up here, we're all different in that sense, Two of us are Southerners.
Hey, y'all.
You have.
Two of us are from around here.
Uh-huh.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
And two of us are Jamaicans, island girls.
So even just with us, different cultures, and I think that's important too to show that even in the black community there are different
Right.
cultures, because so often we get all grouped together and it's unfair to us, and it's unfair to what makes us so beautiful as a whole. The fact that we are different is beautiful, and that's not celebrated nearly enough.
I also think the other thing that happens is that because so much of the world does see us as a monolith, and because so often the same story is told about us, anytime we inhabit more than one identity, it's seen as too much, right? And so I think it was important for us to include characters who were black and queer, or black and an immigrant, or black and Muslim, because those ands definitely exist across the diaspora. But like so often the world makes us feel like, oh, but you're black, so you can't also be this other thing.
Or that black just means one thing, right? I mean, and we're all, the strength of our book and the strength of people in general is that we're all different, right? So we embody so many things, and so does every kid in this room, right? And then no two of you are the same, but in our media, you see the same story all the time, and it's just not a true story. So I mean, I think one of the things we want to do is just tell the truth, and it seems revolutionary, but it's so basic in the end. We're just telling the truth about people, right?
Would you encourage young people to start writing their own stories? I bet they're already doing it.
Absolutely.
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 And to revisit what they think a story is, right? We write books, but stories are also writing graphic novels, writing comics, writing video games, writing for TV, writing for film. Like when we think writing podcasts, like people think of writing as one thing. Writing rap lyrics, writing music, it's all writing, it's all storytelling. And so I think that young people should think about telling stories because that it's what we get to do for a living. It's the greatest job in the world. And the way that you tell your story is uniquely yours.
Also, think about the ways that you're already telling stories, right? Because I feel like we underestimate the power of story and the fact that we're telling stories all the time. Like content creation for social media is storytelling. Commercials are storytelling. You sit with your homegirl and talk about what happened with old dude on the phone last night. It's storytelling.
Telling that story, that tea.
And we use story to figure out how to be people in the world, right? Which is why your stories are important. They help us connect with each other. They tell us, they give us an idea of what's okay and not okay. And so be intentional, right? Knowing that you are engaging in storytelling pretty much at all times, you can be intentional about the stories you're telling.
Before we open it up for Q&A and just comments, I know you're not going to tell us who wrote what, so I give that up. However, were there favorite characters that you're in Writer? Who? Yeah.
I have a favorite one. One of my favorites is Sola. So she's the aggrieved party. She mad.
The
She real
aggrieved
mad,
party.
Okay? She's the one that Stevie they broke up, right? And she's digging a grave for her relationship. She's like putting it 6 feet under, like in the snow.
Literally.
Literally. She's putting all Stevie's stuff in the ground because that's what I would do. So I like a person in the petty palace and who is dramatic. So that's why I love her. She was like one of my favorites.
Drama.
Drama.
Kaz is my favorite. So there's a character, and I think it's partially because of the setting. So Kaz's story takes place in the mall, and it's just he is he's like a cinnamon roll of a human, and is so ideal boyfriend to me.
In the mall.
In the mall.
I liked, was it Lil Kenzie?
Which one?
Me too.
Yeah, I like
Me too.
Lil Kenzie, the rapper.
Oh, the rapper.
Because I like how
Little
you get to
Kenzie.
see what he was like very young and what he's like now and what the front is he puts on. He's like really vulnerable, but he pretends he's not, and I like that.
Same.
I really liked Ava and Mason together because they were arguing even as they told the story. So that chapter sort of switches in between, and they're like, I don't know. You'll see when you read it, but they're like arguing as they're telling the story. Like there's a part where Ava is like, I broke up with him, and then Mason's like, no, he broke up with me, and then Mason says, no, she broke up with me. And it's like they're going back and forth even as they're telling the story, and it's hilarious. So.
And you use the text too, actually physical.
Yes,
text.
and there's text messages
And you
throughout
show
it.
'em and
Yeah,
everything.
and also like weather reports, like things happening on Twitter. So that sort of breaks it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes, my eyeballs need a break when I'm reading a book, and so that is really helpful to just like break up the chapters.
Favorite character? Or you
Oh, I
voted
said-
on? Okay.
Oh, so I guess I'm last. I love Stevie the most.
Oh, Stevie.
I think Stevie is like so like over analytical, which I can very much be, and she's just like problematic in her own like best way because she's just like making problems for her own self, and it's just hilarious. She's like self-sabotaging by like overthinking, which I feel like we all do at some point. So it was amazing to see it on the page like play out in such a detailed way. So I love that.
And the nerdiness. That's what I love.
I also
And
love
nerdy.
Portia. She's not a character who is narrating, but she's a character in the story. But she loves Christmas so much, and it's so funny. So yeah.
Yeah, she really loves Christmas.
She's extra.
My favorite line in the whole book is from Portia, and she screams, "No trap music during the Jesus season," and like that is my favorite line of the whole book.
So we're going to open it up. We've got microphones. Or not? Why don't you just stand up? Here you go. Come on, right here.
I was sitting right there.
If you want to ask a question, lift it
Yes.
up. Let's see if.
She
Please
would like
stand
to ask
up.
a question.
There you go.
Oh, you have to come out? What? You can go to her.
When you have the mics, stand up so we can hear you ask the question.
And when
The
you-
lights are very bright, so we can't really see what's happening.
Right.
And when you finish, you could just give it to the
Thank you.
mic to the next person, okay? Just go to the person. And look,
or
we're
they
just
can do a
telling you
line.
everything. Where's your question, honey?
Okay. Hi, my name is Michaela. I'm from Eastern Senior High School, and
Hi.
and I remember you saying at the beginning that your niece asked you why black girls are not the center of love stories. My question to you is, in what way does this book kind of do justice to that, concept of black girls or black people in general not being the main characters in love stories?
Well, we made them the main characters.
Yeah, everyone is black.
The whole book, every character is a black girl or boy or person who is falling in love. They have their moment in the sun. It's all happy endings. Like, this is in protest of that. The whole book is. So
It's black on black on black.
It's
Black
hard.
on
Black on
black.
black on black
wait, black on black on black on white in the snow.
on snow.
On snow. Black on black on black on snow.
My name's Lene Daniels, and I'm from. Why did I just say my whole name? Anyway, I'm from Columbia Heights, and my question was: the characters in y'all book, have y'all ever went through any of the conflicts or issues that they were like in y'all younger years?
Look, we done been through some of the conflicts and issues in our older years.
Older years.
So this is the beauty of writing young adult literature is like it's just a really great place to process your problems, whether they happened when you were 16 or when you're 35. But like we're always writing our own stories into our books. Even this one, like the chapter that I wrote, there's a lot of like my own feelings from situations written into
Entanglements.
Entanglements.
situationships, as I've heard they're called these days, are written into the story. But that's what makes it fun, right? Like, y'all pretty much can assume that if you see something in a book you like, either this person went through it or wants to go through it.
It feels like you've been through something. Even I from decades back could relate to some of the things.
Hi, my question is, with you all being different authors, with different ways of writing, what have you learned and gotten inspiration from each other?
That's so great. I know, that's such a great question. I've learned a lot about structure and suspense from Tiffany D. Jackson. She knows how to really lay out a suspenseful narration, and that's what I think Whiteout does effectively. I've learned a lot of voice and how to make my voice better from Nick Stone. I learned how to punch up funny dialogue. I'm not a funny person from Angie Thomas. I learned how to tap into my heart, my emotions from Ashley Woodfolk. She writes such beautiful, poetic, emotional things. And from Nicola Yoon, I've learned how to take these big philosophical questions and let them play out through character and situation.
She's really good at that.
And it's why I picked these women to get in, do this. I wanted to learn. This was selfish on my part. I was like, teach me all that.
Oh, word. I was totally on the struggle bus here because I mostly write thrillers and horror. So when Dee asked me to write this, I was like, you got the right number? Are you sure?
I did.
And I was like, okay, well, it's a creative challenge. Yeah. And with both Blackout and Whiteout, I felt myself in moments of pivotal, romance. I was like, it fell flat. And so I had to sort of lean on the ladies here to sort of figure out oh, how do I punch up this kissing scene so it's more climatic or whatever. I just felt like this was something I needed to learn for the future because obviously I do still want to have love stories or some type of romance even in my thrillers as well too. So this was such a great learning experience.
Yeah, it's like Tiffany, it's like I love you so much, I'm going to kill you.
Right. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Her
But
climaxes are not kissing, they're murder.
They're murder after kissing. Now you can add kissing to the murder. And I think I speak for all 5 of us when I say that, like, from Danielle, we learned world building. We learned how to put detail into a story so that you are fully immersed in where
I
you
also
are.
like I'm normally not a plotter, and that's why my books are literally just like people are sad
And feeling.
or like emotional, but like nothing's really happening. Like
No,
they're
stuff is happening.
they're walking around like talking about their feelings.
Yes.
But but working on these books with Danielle, I'm like, oh, like stuff could happen and they could have feelings.
Danielle believes in plot. I mean,
Yeah, she's great at plotting.
we're great at
and
plot,
like
yeah.
like hitting certain points. And you're like, yeah, beats, that's the word. See, I don't even know how to talk about this stuff.
Stiff too.
Yeah, no, that's true. So
Our
yeah,
powers
I feel like I
combined.
learned the like planning part of it because I'm not bad at planning. I just
I'm a
usually
very good
don't do
planner.
it.
I was a teacher and librarian for 13 years. I know how to plan.
Oh, well. You know, I'm a little.
Thank you for that question.
It was
That
so
was
great. We've never been asked that.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah, and I go to Dunbar High School. And so this year, I've made it like a goal to like read 10 books. And I would say definitely towards Miss Thomas and Miss Jackson, like y'all books have like helped me when it comes to one getting to my goal.
Yes.
To read 10 books, like especially like when you made Grown and the ending of it, I was so mad, I was so happy.
Oh my God. Thank
Like,
you.
Don't spoil it. Don't
really
spoil
kept
it.
It really kept me hooked in. And with your book, Concrete Growth, it was so good. Like I was just drawn the entire time. But it was really a pleasure to meet all of y'all. And oh, Miss Evans, my librarian wants me to tell you to come to Dunbar.
No
But
problem.
I'm
Make
gonna
it happen.
definitely try and read. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. And
Oh,
I'm
to
definitely try to
Dunbar?
read all of y'all books because from this panel, it just sounds like y'all got like a good bunch of books going on that I'm gonna read.
Yes.
But thank y'all so much.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Hey.
That was so.
Oh, I think we have time for a couple more.
Hi, my name is Maya. I'm from Elliott High Middle School. I have started writing some books. My friends have read some, and so far they say it's pretty good. But have you ever gotten so immersed in your character that you couldn't write anymore, or like you just couldn't figure out how to express yourself in a certain way?
Ashley, I feel like this is a you.
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
For me, I find that I feel like what you're describing, like in the writer world, we call it writer's block, right? And so for me, and like I don't think this is true for all writers, but for me personally, when I'm experiencing writer's block, it's one because I'm trying to make something perfect, right? So I keep stopping because it's not flowing exactly how I want it to flow, or there's two parts that aren't really mixing together, or there's something that I know needs to be fixed, but it makes me stop, as opposed to finishing and then going back to fix it. So I'm trying to make it perfect on the first try, which is like not a thing. Also, perfection is not a thing. So yeah, so that is one reason. And then the other reason is because I have some kind of emotional block, right? Like the character is too similar to me, or I'm writing about something that I haven't fully processed myself yet. And so sometimes you just need to take a break, take a walk, take a week off, read a different book, watch a TV show, like that kind of thing. And that usually pulls me out of it. But yeah, recognize if you're stopping yourself because you feel like it needs to be perfect, or if there's something that you're not processing about the story yet.
I mean, I think that part's really important about perfection, right? Because all of us, the first drafts of everything we've written individually or together is terrible. Just universally, you would never want to read the first draft of any of our books because writing is rewriting. You just have to, so every one of us, we sit there and we get miserable and we think we're the worst writers in the world. But the thing that we all have in common is that we're tenacious, right? We will just keep going and you'll get to the end and then you'll make it better. But you can't make a blank page better, but you can make trash better, I promise you, because
we do it every day.
All the time. So just get to the end and trust the process. Do it again and do it again. And the version of the book that's on the shelves is so much better than the first thing that you put on paper.
Your mic's not on, honey.
It's on.
My name is Sophia Argueta, and I go to Columbia Heights Educational Campus. And I just wanted to say that I love your hair, Miss Nicole. And how do you guys
Thank
deal
you.
with procrastination?
Yeah, tell me about that one.
I'll
somebody
answer
take
that
the
in
mic
about
from her.
10 minutes. I'll answer that in about 10 minutes. You know.
Yo, okay, look, I will actually answer this question. So I procrastinate by doing other work. It's a terrible. I'm gonna stop saying it's a terrible habit because I've figured out it works for me, right? And I think that sometimes when we think about procrastination, we cast procrastination into this like light of like moral ineptitude, right? Like if you procrastinate, you are the worst human. But it's really procrastination is rooted in emotion. Like we procrastinate things that we're not emotionally ready to deal with. So what I wind up doing is like I'll have a book due. I'll give you an example. Let's say I have a book due in 2 days. I'll start another book.
Nick.
No, but I'm saying like this is how, and then 6 hours before the book is due, I'll sit down and I'll write an additional few thousand words, and then I'll tell my editor I need another week. And then I hit that next deadline. But typically, if I'm going to procrastinate, and I am, zero question, I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing something that is also contributing to my growth and probably something that I could eventually sell. So procrastinating with other work.
She
is the
better
way
than
that
me
deal with
because I just be
procrastinating.
watching Netflix.
I be playing PlayStation 5.
I mean, but even those things are like self-care, right? So like, even with that,
Are you thinking when you're
you're
procrastinating?
thinking. Look, all I know is, oh, I got a book due. Let me write a
I
new
don't
one.
know if raging against gamer people is like self-care.
That's
for me.
catharsis.
It is.
I guess so.
Another one.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a city year at Elliott Hine Middle School. First, I want to start by saying you guys are so inspirational for me. Like, as a young black girl who just realized black girls can write and be in books. Like, what? This is like amazing for me to see. So I was just wondering, like, if you guys have dealt with imposter syndrome. As an aspiring writer, that's like my hurdle I'm trying to get over right now. And if you did, like, how did you like deal with feeling that imposter syndrome?
Y'all really woke up this morning and chose violence.
Yeah.
They're coming for us. They're coming for us.
I deal with it all the time. I
Really?
still deal with it all the time. You know, and what I have to tell myself is anytime I walk into a room, I'm meant to be in that space.
Whoa.
And can't nobody take that from me.
Oh.
Period.
Okay.
That's what you have to tell yourself. If I'm here, I'm meant to be here. Can't nobody take that from you. So that's what I have to tell myself all the time, you know. And I think too, even with, you know, with success or whatever, you know, sometimes you feel like, but did I really do this? So sometimes what you got to do is you got to get the big head, get in your Beyonce mode and be like, look, I did this. I am the you know what at times. You know, stay humble though. Don't get big head. Stay humble. But every now and then you got to give yourself that pep talk like, yo, I did something. Yo, I'm here. If nothing else, yo, we survived 2020. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So the thing about imposter syndrome is you're doubting yourself, but it also is you're wondering how other people perceive you. And the biggest piece of advice I have about that is what other people think about you is not your business.
Correct. Facts.
So you belong wherever you step foot. You belong.
Like literally, y'all. If you did not belong there, you literally would not be there because you can only be where you are. So
I'm going to give the real answer, which is great. No, this is great. But I feel like when you're in that imposter mode syndrome, sometimes it's really difficult to get to that point where you are able to tell yourself those things. So the best advice I can give you is to have people around you who will tell you those things when you can't get yourself there. Because there are so many times when I am in that space. I live there, y'all. I get a book deal, and I'm like, are you sure?
Oh my God.
Are you sure? I don't know. Maybe you sent the email to the wrong person. So that is my home.
And you just call, you phone a friend.
Yes,
She'll call me.
imposter syndrome is where I live. So there have been so many days where I've dropped into the group chat and I'm like, can somebody just tell me I'm pretty? Can someone just tell me that like I'm a good writer? Can somebody please just like FaceTime me right now and like give me a pep talk? Can somebody like send me a calendar invite so I can write with them? Because that community is so important, because I think it's great if you can convince yourself to have a Beyonce moment. I need to work on that. But what's more important is to have people around you that are going to celebrate with you in your success and always reassure you that like, no, to sell you.
No, that definitely is the biggest part, because
Right?
I'm always big on leaning into love, like leaning into the people that really like love you, that support you, because they're the ones that are going to remind you of how amazing you are. And so, yeah, I deal with imposter syndrome all the time. Last month, I came to homecoming and I walked into the bookstore, and you know, the Howard Bookstore actually has like a huge like wall of like alumni. So like you have Zora Neale Hurston, Toni Morrison, you have all these amazing authors, and my book was up there. And I was like, I am in denial.
Yes, you stay in denial.
I was completely in denial, and you should have seen all my drunk friends behind me. Yes, girl! Taking pictures all lopsided. But for me, that was like a huge moment for me, and it was amazing to have my girlfriends that I've been in college with. I mean, we graduated together, we've done all these things together, so it's amazing to have the people in your life. Like, so sometimes we don't look at the reviews, we don't look at the good reviews, because we don't need that energy. We need the energy of the love of the family and friends and readers and teens that like we adore. So definitely lean into the love.
I think we have time for one more.
Oh, hello.
Good morning. So I'm Ellen Dodsworth from Eastern Senior High School. So several of your books have been made into movies and now Netflix series. Do you give up artistic creation? Are you involved in the creation of the projects, the movies?
It's different with everybody, every project. There's no like blanket answer, because I know like for me, I was involved to a degree with both film adaptations. I was a producer on The Hate U Give. I was a producer on The Come Up. But I was like a grandparent giving advice to a parent who's raising a kid. Whereas I know like Danielle, it was a different experience. It was a whole different experience. But, if you want to talk about that.
I wasn't involved in my adaptation of my book on Netflix. Tiny
Boy,
Pretty
could we
Things.
tell.
Yes. So like, it's like, I don't know what that was. Okay? But just know that we are very involved in the adaptation for Blackout. So that doesn't happen to our baby that we made.
And then sometimes there's a bunch of, 3 of my books are in development right now. And I kind of don't want to be involved. And I know that sounds really weird because I was a film major. I worked in television for 15 years. So it seems kind of weird, but for some reason, I don't want to change my book. I don't want to change my baby. So I'm like, go ahead. I don't want to be involved.
Just don't let them do to you what they did to me.
No, yes. Facts. But no, for real, I don't want to be so involved that I lose touch with the real dream that I had, which is to be a writer, which is to talk to kids about writing. Like if I'm so stuck in a studio, I won't get a chance to come and speak with kids and still go around the country and visit, detention centers and stuff like that. I still want to be able to be involved. So that's one of the reasons why I do sort of take a back seat in the film production of a lot of my books. So yeah.
Nikki, what about you?
Nikki?
Yeah, I mean, for Everything and The Sun is Also a Star, the thing that you have to realize is that books and movies are different, right? And it took me a little while. Like the first version of the Everything script was so bad. It was not good. And I cried. My husband couldn't finish it. He was just like, we can. But when you sell the rights, you sell the rights. So that means they do not have to involve you, and they can they could set it in space. And you have no say. I mean, for me anyway, you would have no say. fortunately, we got to be involved, and by the time I got like the 5th script for Everything, the director had rewritten a lot of it, and she was great, and the script was really good. The thing that helped me was just realizing someone else is making art about your characters, some new art about the characters you love. And that's a nice way to think about it, because then the book is here, and it's my baby, and the film is their baby, but it's still about the people that you made and the people that you love, and that makes it okay, and made it okay for me.
Yeah.
So even casting too, and who would be
and
your
we do not
character.
cast movies.
No,
oh my God,
we don't
do
cast.
Not
We do not cast movies.
Don't cast. You don't get to book. Well, we really appreciate you, and I want to just end, and you acknowledge a lot of people. You say this book was a fun, complicated challenge, and you gave a shout out to so many people, your family, your friends. You could tell that made it, but you end with, most importantly, thanks to readers who follow us into story after story. Thank you for diving into another love story with us. So you all get to dive in to Whiteout.
Thank you.
Thank you.